Hello my chicken nuggies! So today we're talking about a new series called How to Grow, and this series is teaching you how to grow in a way that I'm learning how to grow. So this series is meant to help you, not harm you. If I say something offensive about a certain topic, please do not mind whatever I say. Take it as a grain of salt. To start off this series, we're going to talk about self-image and body positivity. Now, there's a lot that goes into this topic, so I'm not really sure how long this video is going to be, but today we're going to specifically talk about my journey on how I changed my mindset from where I was before until now. I think I started noticing a lot of things about myself in middle school, and then I started to critique myself and become insecure because other girls would have such things as blonde hair, blue eyes, dimples, everything that's the opposite of what I have. Yeah, I would be jealous, or I would be like, oh, she has that, cool, right? No, because I kind of grew up in a traumatized situation too, where every guy that I like, they always like blonde girls and blue eyes. It's nothing on you, man. It's just the guys I be going for. I was okay with myself until it hits high school, where suddenly the whole game changes, because now you're not in middle school where you're just like, she's cool because she's funny. No, you're suddenly, oh, if you're popular, every guy will like you. And I'm like, that's a thing? That's a goal? People have this as a goal? I grew up in private schools, and as privileged as it is, I always thought there were a lot more Caucasians than Asians in my grade, if that makes sense. And being surrounded by them, I fully convinced myself that they would probably like another Caucasian girl compared to liking an Asian girl. Now, I kind of was accept the fact that, I'm a person of color, so I'm not gonna be in the radar anytime soon, even if I had a crush on somebody. So to the fullest extent, I didn't think that far. I always grew up thinking, cool, we don't fit in. All right, bet. College. Now, the reason why I set a goal for college was oh, when I get into college, I'll start working out. I'll start getting that summer body that I always wanted. Now, what's funny is that I did. Freshman year, I actually lose a lot of weight under 6 months because I wanted to get to a certain image. And even though I didn't get to that designated weight that I wanted, I still lost a lot of weight, and a lot of people were complimenting me. That's when they're starting to feed my ego. People are like, wow, you lost weight, you're so pretty. And I'm like, that's a problem. That's a problem, mate. That's a problem. You know why? It's not that it's bad that you lost weight, but it's bad when you let yourself identify with that person who lost weight. Now you're using me losing weight as a new method for gaining attention from people. I hope that really makes sense. But for the longest, that's what I did. And a lot of times when people do this, they rather oh my goodness, you get the attention, you're so pretty because you're skinny. And I also grew up in a household where they think the Asian standard of being skinny is actually the standard. So beside being pale, like Koreans, you also gotta be skinny. So what they would tell me is you'd be pretty if you're skinny, right? You'd be prettier if you're skinny, right? You're getting fat, right? Honestly, I was fed this all my life. My cousins, I have a lot of cousins, and majority of them is all girls and one guy. So I don't know the pressure for him, but when he was really lanky and skinny, people would say you look sick. And when he was fat and chubby as a kid, they would be like, oh, you're too fat. And then for the girls who are way much younger than me that are my cousins, I'm high-key concerned. I'm like, do not feed them these negativity thoughts. You're being toxic and you're feeding it to them, even though I was fed it all my life, right? Still to this day, I think my brain likes to tell me there's a standard that I should look like. The goal is to look like a skinny legend with tone abs and slim body snatched. That's what my brain likes to tell me, but I know that needs to go. Besides college, I basically lost around 20 pounds, and all I did was just cardio and eat protein and greens. But the thing is, I wasn't eating enough calories for each day for energy, so I would basically just continue to go on the treadmill and waste all this energy I barely even have. So I lost a lot of weight in those months, but I did not maintain it, and then now I am back to the number that I was where I was at before. So I said my average weight is like 150 in 2019. I'm gonna show a picture here, and then July of the next year I lost 20 pounds and I was like around 130ish, and this is another, it's a video, it's how slim I got, right? I kind of just gave up. I started eating whatever I wanted to eat, and then now I'm back to where I am. But the thing is, the only difference between then and now is that I'm way much happier now. I was trying to prove to myself that I can get guys, so if as long as I'm skinny and I'm pretty, everything will be fine. Wrong. Mind you, at this time I was not saved at all. I was walking around and I was claiming as a Christian, but I wasn't really walking like a Christian, right? So I just say I'm a Christian just because. I was living this lifestyle where I dedicated my whole entire mindset, like if I get this body, if I get this guy, if I get what I want, that's the end goal. But the problem with that in itself is like I'm selfish. I didn't think enough to even be like, okay, my motivation towards working out is to become healthy. No, that was not the end goal. That was the end goal, is do whatever you can so you can be skinny, and the faster you get skinny, the faster you get guys. And I think like a lot of the world likes to perceive this as, oh my goodness, she's so skinny on the internet. You see how many guys she got in her DMs? Now that's a big factor on me because I have a love and hate relationship with Instagram, and a part of it was also Snapchat with the filters. I had a moment where I didn't really like the way how I look, and I started using Snapchat filters, and I would post them on the internet. I would post them on Instagram and I would get a bunch of likes and people are calling me pretty and whatnot. I realized suddenly I found a new identity, and that's through Snapchat filters. Not even my own face anymore. That was just Snapchat filters, which is really bad. I had two of my coworkers who called me out on it in a jokingly way, but I still get hurt on it. But now I accepted it and moved on. But at that time I realized what I was doing. I was faking an image on the internet, like catfishing. Like not like legit difference, like here I'll show you some photos, but these are all catfishing in a sense because I'm using Snapchat filters to kind of reform my face, if that makes sense. And then I had that crisis where it's like, wow, that's suddenly not me anymore. I don't like the way how I look. So then I deleted Snapchat, the app Instagram, for a while, and I was like, you know what, maybe I should start learning how to love myself even more and then take pictures. For the longest, I go on months on end without taking any new selfies because I felt like I don't have any confidence in my system anymore. And I was like, you know what, we're just never gonna take another selfie. Which is really sad because I'll be comparing the way how I look then to the pictures that I had off of Snapchat, and it was a toxic thing because I would identify myself through those Snapchat filters, you know. And I think that's what's really toxic, because imagine how many people use filters these days and they use that as their definition of, that's how I look like, that's how I'm pretty, that's the way how it should be. Or they would use those to be like a goal, so that you would go get surgery to get something done to make your face look a certain way, or your body, you know. Like, no shame in that, but I'm just saying this leads to so many things if you don't get it right now. I know you don't love your body, but you gotta understand the body you were given by God is a gift, and if you don't use it correctly, if you don't take care of the body that God gives you, then you're abusing it. No one else can love your body but you. Like, literally, you have to feed yourself, you have to clean yourself, you have to exercise to like maintain a healthy like body if you want God to use you. Because the way how I'm fixing my mindset these days is that at first when I was losing weight, the only end goal was that if I get skinny, I'll be pretty. And then later on when I exercise again, I thought like, oh look, oh my goodness, she's active, she's losing weight again. No, I had no motivation because I knew where my motivation was heading towards. That toxicity of basically identifying myself with the standard of what the world said is pretty. Now, throughout the years, I think through history, the world really has different standards on how like a girl looks pretty or not. And especially in different parts of the world, something could be defined as pretty in America, it could be ugly over in that country. Which sounds really sad, but it's true. So at the end of the day, are you letting the world decide how you look, or are you gonna decide how you look? Now, not everybody wants to be ugly now, don't get me wrong. But like, I have my days where I'm just like, I don't want to do this no more. I don't want to exercise because the only reason why I would exercise is to lose weight and try to look pretty and try to impress people, right? So for the longest, I don't find a need to exercise, but I realized once I started eating the way how I was, it was just like just eating whatever I want. I gained the weight that I lost 2 years ago, and I also couldn't fit some of the clothes in my closet, which I cleaned out. I basically have to sit down and collect my thoughts. I was like, now is the problem. Before you were fine because you were losing weight, you fit all these clothes, you bought more clothes, you fit all these things because you bought your size. Now that you're eating more than you usually, or not even that, you eat more and that you don't really maintain a healthy body, you're not gonna fit the clothes that you have in your closet. So I was getting very concerned. Now there's a problem with my weight because when I was 13, I was diagnosed with this thing called Graves' disease. It was like a hormonal issue with the body, and my thyroid was just not correctly working. I had to drink these medicines where I would have a phase where it's very high, like my thyroid's hormones are very high, so I would lose a lot of weight regardless how much I eat. And then I would have my low thyroid hormonal issue where it would be so low that no matter if I don't eat at all, I still gain weight, right? And it's weird. So definitely that comes into play, and it messes with my head because I'm like, so when I lost weight, was it the weight that I lost because of exercising, or it was because my thyroid issue was so high that I lost weight, right? I noticed when one time, the very first time when my cousin was like, oh, you lost weight, and this was around the time I didn't work out at all. It was the hormonal issue. It felt good. Don't get me wrong, it felt good when people tell you you look good, you look skinny, you look good in those clothes. But don't twist that for this is how you should live your life now to attain those compliments. If you don't compliment yourself, you should not expect other people to compliment you. Now I only say this because we're talking about a body positivity, self-image conversation right now. But I'm saying overall, if you cannot find confidence in yourself, who else are you expecting to give that confidence to? You, right? Who's gonna feed it to you if you're not even believing the fact that you're even pretty? The world likes to tell us, hey, if you don't look a certain image, you're gonna be booted out. You're not gonna be pretty. Now, don't get me wrong, growing up I always get, oh my goodness, you're so cute. You're adorable. You're beautiful. Well, beautiful is a cute word, so never mind. But like, I never got, oh, you're hot. Oh, you're pretty. Oh, you're sexy. Like all that jazz. But don't get me wrong, I see where you're going there. No, I don't personally like those words either. Like besides pretty, I don't like hot or sexy, so you're fine. I'm doing great. But the entitlement when it comes to somebody labeling a girl hot or sexy, now my brain gets triggered and it's like, what did I don't have that they have, you know? Jealousy could be a big part of this whole issue too. And once you realize when you're comparing yourself so much to the other girls or the other person or to that celebrity that you want their body, you're not gonna realize you're not yourself anymore. Now you're putting your brain at a spot where it's telling you because you don't look like this or that celebrity, you're not pretty. Now you're treating yourself horribly because you're telling yourself that all these people are much prettier than you. So you don't even have the confidence or believing that the fact that you have any hope or any type of like prettiness in you. Now, a lot of people say shallow. I think this is like this. If you don't tell yourself that you're pretty and you want people to tell you that you're pretty, I think you're not gonna get it. Because when you're allowing yourself to only get complimented by people and that's the validation you seek for, then clearly you don't even have that confidence in you to say that I have confidence in myself that I am beautiful, my personality is great, and I don't need to worry about what people say, compared to I care about what people say because what they say defines me. Don't get me wrong, there's like a degree of shallowness when it comes to appearance because people, when they say out of attraction, you gotta be attracted to this person or you really just, you know, not their cup of tea. I mean, everybody has their own cup of tea now, so don't get me wrong. Gravity is gonna take its course when you're old. You're gonna look like a grumpy old couple. So you're not gonna stay looking like this until you're 100 years old, right? You're not gonna stay looking this young until you're 100. So don't be too caught up on what you can do to fix the features of your physical body besides getting a healthy weight and maintaining a good diet. Now I sound like a scientist, a diet nutrition person, because honestly I don't even eat healthy. This is the beginning of the journey. I'll get back to you when I accomplish that journey, but right now, the only difference now is that I place my identity in Christ. Now, what Christ says about my body is the first thing I look at, which is if God cares for me, then he wants me to care for me as well, which meaning I need to care for my body. If I'm gonna eat all these junk food consistently, fast food, and whatever is convenient, and not worrying about exercising or worrying about what I eat, suddenly I'm gonna get sick and I'm gonna end up dying sooner or anything, like with, I don't know, contract some like illnesses and can't basically work for the kingdom of God. So my mindset have shifted from, let's go for something so toxic about how the world views me to see how God views me. So I'm trying to focus on, okay, my motivation for exercising now is not to lose weight to gain somebody's attention, but to lose weight so that I can at least feel better, like feel healthier, and just like have an active like body so that, you know, if God needs me to run a marathon, I can run a marathon, you know. Not that I'm saying I will, but like if God calls me to it, ayo. I think like it goes into a lot when you decide to basically focus on what God has given you and use it to your advantage to give back glory to him. Because for me personally, it was the same with school. I did not find any motivation for school last semester. Well, why do you follow God? And when you think about school, when you basically focus your shift from just normally going to school into, I'm gonna give school my all so that I can point back to God and say that God helped me through this whole this whole degree, this college degree. Like, you know well you can't pass that class, but you know God has gotten your back. And if you're gonna like live your life to giving God your fullest, like 100%, then definitely putting effort into school is not waste. You're basically working for the Lord, and you're not thinking, you're not working for yourself, you're not working for your parents, you're not working for anybody else, but you're working for the Lord. So that calls you to do it 100%. But if you don't give it your all, there's something seems to be stopping you from doing that, from chasing after the Lord and giving him your all. So I would say, like, maybe there's something you haven't surrendered to God fully, and that could be your thought, your temptations, your sin, that person you really wanted, like you can't have. Like, there's things that you hold on to dearly that you wouldn't surrender to God. And I think like when you get it figured out, giving 100% to God is the best thing you can do, because you see his glory in the end, you see his blessings in the end. So just with like my mindset for school, it definitely changed the way how I finished off that semester, and I'm so thankful that he really saved me from passing. I don't know how I passed that semester in itself, but he definitely pulled me out of that dark spot and basically helped me with a new mindset and motivation. So now my motivation is him. So there's no failing motivation when it comes to you placing it on God, because God is the creator. And if you're placing your motivation to work for the creator, there's nothing bad about it, there's nothing harmful about it. And there's just also, God sees that you love him so much, you're basically putting your efforts in serving him, right? So same thing goes for looks. So Proverbs 31:30 says in the New Living Translation is, charm is deceptive and beauty does not last, but a woman who fears the Lord will be greatly praised. If you place your identity in Christ, suddenly the things of the world does not really define you anymore, because everything that makes you who you are is through God and what God says of you. Let the creator who designed you defines you. Big boy brains. Now I'm saying that to say that, let's say you're not a follower of Christ, you're not going to understand what I just said to you. But for me personally, if you're actually like a follower of Christ or not, for me personally, I found that when I place my identity, I'm not on earth to please people. I'm not on earth be the best version of myself, to be the prettiest girl alive, and to like, you know, let everybody love me because I'm pretty. No, that is not my end goal. My end goal is to make him known and like learn who he is and make him known. So I'm sharing the gospel with people. That's my end goal. I'm not going around trying to make people think like, oh my goodness, she's so pretty. No, that's not my end goal. So if I place my identity in what the world says of who I am, then that's the problem. If I went around and be like, my identity is to look like a model, I need to be skinny, snatched, and famous, I'm gonna start doing everything I can to get to that goal. Now, people have that mindset, and yes, they do reach it, but I'm not saying that fulfills them or bring them happiness. What's the difference between me and a person who is going towards the same goal is that that girl who work out every single day eating healthy is living a life that she is, yes, she is healthy, but if she's not a believer or like even know who Christ is, she's not really finding happiness in those things. She's just temporarily making it out alive. And I say that to say that because the difference between me then when I wasn't saved and me now is that I'm way much happier. I constantly know that I have somebody who loves me and watches over me and takes care of me, so I don't have to stress, I don't have to worry, I don't have to like know that I'm alone, compared to Lena, who was not saved, constantly thinking about why do these people don't give me the love that I want or the self-worth or acceptance. I think when we chase after people to give us love, self-worth, and acceptance, we don't get it back, and then we end up in insecurity, we end up in hindrance, and we don't really feel happy because, you know, people are not perfect, so they disappoint us, and it's normal, right? But when we place those three things into God, our identity is now found in God. He fulfills all those roles because he is God. But mind you that God doesn't look for those three things in us, because if God only like goes to us for love, self-worth, and acceptance, he can't love us unconditionally. And I think like that chart in itself gives a big reason on why I understand how much he loves me and how much he appreciates me. Not because how I look, and even if he made me look this way, he's not looking at me and treating me based off of how I look in this look right now, like with makeup or without makeup. He's not judging me because I am like, he's not judging me because I look a certain way. He's judging me because righteously I sinned against him. But he's not gonna sit there and be like, Lena, you know you're so ugly, I don't think I should let you into heaven. No. What? Physical beauty is meant to be fleeting. And like, as nice as it is that you're pretty and then, you know, everybody finds you attractive and you're admired and people want to date you and court you, but at the end of the day, are you using your looks to go and please somebody? Are you using your looks to gain attention for yourself? Are you only focusing on yourself to get a certain image, like you want it to look like the internet so you can get fame? All these things come into play when you don't realize it, because people can be like, oh, look, I got the body that I wanted posted on the internet. Everybody now needs to know I'm that girl who has that body. And I think like a big part of social media, how I was dealing with it, was that I always want to post, but keep in mind, it was always me. I wanted to post me. I want people to look at me. I want to be about me, me, me. Like, that's literally constantly just what my media was giving off. Selfie, selfie, selfie. Now, there's a difference between loving yourself and confidently showing it, compared to always wanting validation and seeking acceptance through people on the internet, or just through likes, through numbers, through fame, and through guys, or through relationships. There we go. So I just want you to know that the world is not going to end if you decided today that you're not gonna follow whatever the world says. So definitely I find that when I work towards being healthier and working out, I am now motivated motivated to give my effort to God. And I even ask him, like, you don't have to do this on your own, you know that, right? You can have a buddy, a gym buddy, to hold you accountable, for them to do it with you. You start appreciating the body that God gave you, and I think that's the best way to live your life, because the body that God gave you is a gift to you, but what you do with that gift is your gift to God, basically. So how I use my body right now is, am I using it to bring glory to God, or am I bringing glory to myself? And I think that with being healthy and eating healthier, it's not by no means to brag off that I lost weight or I look skinny and now I'm snatched. No, by all means, my goal is to be healthier so that, one, I can fit the clothes in my closet. Two, my motivation comes from God in itself, that I can do all things through Christ and with him, and that I ask him to help me, because exercising, I've never been a big fan, even though I'm a very sports person growing up. So I think, like, I am used to keeping my body active, but I've been lazy for so long, and I've been eating at the side of fast food. I've been so, like, eating the things that are convenient to me instead of actually eating healthier. So I just wanted to say that body positivity and self-image plays a lot in your head, but if you don't get that worked out, you're gonna be controlled by it. Somebody gave you a compliment, and now you use that compliment as your identity, but that also means you also seek for others people validation before you seek your own validation. And the problem with that is that how many people will be enough to give you that validation? Do you need like 1 million people to tell you you're pretty and then you'll be fine? Or will you be fine when you decided for yourself, if this is the only way that I can love myself, is that I am made in the image of God, and that God made me the way how he wanted to make me, and I'm the only one who looks like me in this world, unless you have a doppelganger. Treat your body well. Stop abusing your body. Stop taking every opportunity that you can steal away from yourself. Meaning, if you continue to constantly just eating and binge eating away and in an unhealthy way, at a certain point you would hit sickness and illnesses that you already know that was gonna happen because you decided to eat constantly the same things over and over. So it's hard on me, don't get me wrong, it's not easy, but it takes a lot to change a person's mind on how to view your own self-image and your body because of how much the world has tried to define it for you. Don't let the world define how you look. Don't let the world tells you what to do with your body. Don't let the world do anything to you. But notice that they are the prime example of what's wrong, and you can learn what's right. But in order to learn what's right, the sources you go to really matters. And I'm saying you can go to a dietitian and be like, how do I become healthy? How do I eat healthy? They can give you all these things, and you can do the exact same thing that they told you to do, and you get to the body that you wanted. But if your end goal for that body was not meant to work for Jesus Christ, then you're clearly doing it wrong. Now, I'm not condemning anybody. Condemning means to say that, oh, what you're doing is wrong and there's no saving you. No, I'm saying this as a sister, as an encourager. Please, please, please take care of your body, because God did not give you a body just for you to abuse it. You know, like, you are his creation and you were made in the image of him. Every time I think about like just hating something, that a feature of myself, I think back to, if God made me in his image, then I'm slapping him on the face when I say that I'm ugly. Because you're saying like, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not good enough, I'm not attractive enough, all these things. That's why people go to plastic surgery. People go to fix anything of their physical traits so that they can be considered prettier in the image of man, and not even in the image of God, because clearly they don't even understand what it means to be like, you are the creator and the creation is saying, I'm ugly, why would you do this? Why would you make me this ugly? Do you know how God would feel? Because God would ultimately be like, I created you in the most perfectest way, but you seem to hate on yourself. You hate on something that's perfect, that's made from God. And I think that hits home. So I'm gonna end up the video here. It's a bit long, but thank you so much for coming to my TED Talk. That was it, guys. I hope you guys like this video. If you do, give thumbs up and subscribe for more. Bye. I hope you guys like this video. I'll see you guys next time. And Madelena, channel out. Bye.